The best salespeople I know talk less than anyone else in the room. Did you know 90% of communication is nonverbal? Yet most salespeople, and I've seen this in so many sales calls, are so focused on their next question, their next presentation, their next close, what to say next, they completely miss what's right in front of them. I've actually been in meetings where the client has said yes, and the salesperson keeps talking. They've said yes to what the salesperson wants, and they keep talking because they feel like they have to present what's on the agenda. I've watched salespeople talk their way out of an opportunity with a client, and the client's already decided to do business with them. So crazy. No one to shut up. That's really, really important. Being present in a sales conversation isn't a soft skill. It's one of the most powerful tools that you have. And it's something you can keep learning. Studying body language, just being present, turning that off. It's difficult for people, and I'm asking you to do it. When your prospect feels truly seen and heard, that's when trust is built. And trust is what creates revenue and closed opportunities. Here's a simple guide that will transform your sales conversations. Your prospect should be talking 80% of the time. This is a guideline. There are different situations where you need to talk more. But in general, they should be talking 80% of the time and you speak 20% of the time. Let that sink in. Let it sink in. Your job isn't to present or talk them into a sale. You're not going to talk somebody into a sale if they're not ready to buy, and if you haven't structured it in a way where it is something that you're solving for them. Your job is to ask great questions, get out of the way, and listen. Because when people talk, they tell you everything you need. Their pain points, their priorities, their objections, their buying signals, but you only hear it if you're actually listening. Actually listening, actively listening. Not rehearsing the next line in your head. Not thinking ahead to how you can get them over the finish line to buy. Being there, being present. Every sales conversation starts before the presentation. It starts with connection. Finding common ground, shared interests, a moment where the other person thinks, I like this person. But here's the thing. It's a bit of a catch. Reading the room is so critical. Understanding how much of that is needed. Ritual bonding is important in establishing rapport with people, part of every sales conversation, every conversation where we get to know people. For example, my experience in Hawaii, business doesn't come up in the first meeting, maybe not even in the second meeting. You jump straight to your presentation and you'll be shown the door. I mean, that's it. New York, I once started a meeting, building rapport with a prospective client in a meeting, and within 17 seconds, no kidding, the prospect pulled out a kitchen timer, turned it on, set it for 28 minutes because she assumed we'd been talking for about 2 minutes. And she said, if you can't tell me the value of your company in 28 minutes, we're finished. We're done. How's that? No rapport building. Get straight to business. Every culture in the United States, globally, different cultures, different interests, even some companies are different. Understanding that is imperative to doing business. That's just reading the room. It's reading people. So be present, be generative, watch the eyes, the body language, the energy shifts, follow and use the 80-20 rule. Your prospect talks 80%, you talk 20%. Ask questions that are present, listen harder, nothing, no script, no technique, no closing line is more powerful than making your prospect feel seen, completely seen and completely heard in that moment. One other example, I was working with a small consulting group. We were going after business at Hewlett Packard for a new business they were opening. I got to know every one of the clients. There were 4 different decision makers in the team. I went through that checklist that you should go through, built rapport. I knew the names of their dogs and their cats and their children and their birthdays and their family's birthdays, all of that. I opened and closed the presentation. We had a chief technology officer and a chief operating officer with me in the presentation. So this hit me. This was one of the big flashes for me of changing a methodology, that somebody's not going to buy something from you unless they really need it and you've proven the value. You can't sell something to somebody they don't want. I don't believe I sell anything. So what happened was, we got to the end of the presentation. We had a beautiful presentation. We had gold paper clips on it to give to them. Every detail was covered. And I had 8 pages of why should you do business with my company. And what happened at that point, I closed the laptop and I said, look, I know each one of you, this is a hero or zero project. You're going to be a hero. If it's not successful, that impacts your career. I care about each of you. So it's not important. I had 8 pages written on why you should do business for us. What I would ask you is, at this point in time, why would you choose our organization? One of the people on the team said, we've got, 30 seconds, it seemed like 5 minutes. I've got some concerns about the API and the interface, blah, 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 blah. Our CTO said, we did exactly the same thing with Toyota 2 months ago on a project we were working on with them. They said, oh, good. Relieved about that. That could have killed the opportunity in and of itself. And from that point on, everything shifted. All the energy in the room completely shifted. And they talked about how much they liked our business, how even though we were competing with big consulting firms like PwC and Accenture and those, and we were a tiny little boutique consulting firm, that they liked it because we're nimble. They knew they'd get more attention from us. It was a big opportunity for us, so we'd be more focused. That was on Thursday. The next Tuesday, signed agreement, boom, $5 million opportunity. That was the biggest shift. Is it's important to understand where your customer, your clients are before you rock on. You're not going to talk somebody into buying something if there are objections and issues. Be present, really study body language, read the room, get a clue, Lou, so you don't get off the bus. Gus, have a great day.